All right. Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be breaking down some of the information that was revealed on both sides. Now, before I get into the nitty and gritty, I'm going to allow some of y'all to get on in here. So we'll get into it right after this countdown. We are out here in Beverly Hills with Raz B. I haven't seen you on the scene in a minute, so let the people know what you've been up to. Hey, what's up? I got Amara La Negra here with me tonight at the A Toast to Young Hollywood event. Hey guys, so I have the beautiful Layla Ali with me tonight. So I just want to first start off by saying your Instagram is an inspiration to go on a path to eat healthy. And you know, it is your 50th birthday. You don't look a day over 25.
You know what?
Let us know how you do it.
First, everybody always say that. I think that's so cliche, and people know you don't look 25. Now, if you would have said maybe 40.
Hey, what's up? You're watching Neek at Night, and we have Keith Powers with us tonight.
Hey, how you doing?
You know, a lot of girls was like putting you as their, man crush, and you was their, aspiration to take you off the market. And when you came out with Bay, you crushed a lot of people. Like, Hey guys, so I have Daniel Cormier with me tonight, and it's crazy because my first UFC fight happened to be your fight.
I'm glad you were able to watch the first fight and it was mine and I won, because that could be some bad memories.
Right. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie. When I first seen it and I seen him
I
come,
was gonna get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I'm not gonna tell a lie. Okay, I'm gonna keep it honest. Definitely experience, you guys. That's Amarion, and we're at his word for word screening. It was super dope. Make sure you check it out. It drops tomorrow, and you don't want to miss it.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
It's your partner, Big Boy. What's happening in the voice of Los Angeles? Hello. You know what I do at night? I watch Neek at Night. Show you right. You thought I was going to say something crazy. Thought I was going to say something disgusting and nasty. Yeah. But guess what? When I watch that Neek at Night, I may be doing something disgusting and nasty. Look at her. Hello.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. If this is your first time here, over here we are the Night Owls. If you have not hit that subscribe button, I want you to go ahead and do that right now, and turn on your notification bell so you're notified when I post another video. But just know, keep in mind that over here, this is an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? This ain't for everybody. This is a channel where I talk about celebrity news and gossip and give my opinion on trending stories. I'm a woman who has a website as well. I sell lingerie, adult toys, sexy pajamas, and I even got stuff for going out to the club, nighttime wear, all of those goodies for you as well. You can find this along with a whole bunch of other new goodies. You can find this at www.neekatnight.com. I'm just going to do a live video and we're going to get this done, and it's going to be bada bing, bada boom. All right. Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And as you guys just seen that intro, heavy on, it is an acquired taste over here, okay? Heavy on, what I do is give my opinion on trending stories, and we go over it all here. Now, I seem to always have to do some type of reintroduction because there's so many people who come on over to my channel, and I feel like after every video, after every court case, after every topic, you get new people coming over here that may not know anything about me or what I do over here or anything about my background or whatever. So before I get into the title of the video, and before I get into what this video is about and what we're going to be going over and all of that, I feel it's necessary to give a reintroduction to people who may not know who I am. Now, I have been consistent on YouTube for over 8 years now. Now, the very first commentary-based video that I ever did was in 2008. 2008. Okay. When Obama became president, I did commentary on Obama. I did commentary before a lot of your faves did commentary. Now, that's not to say that I'm ahead or above or of anybody, just to say that I've been an independent thinker since before it was popular to do commentary on YouTube. And before some pages that are even at 1 million views, 2 million views, or some of your favorite commentators even got their start, I did commentary on YouTube giving my opinion. Now, I took a break to pursue Hollywood. I did music videos, I did modeling, I did all sorts of things like that. I did red carpet interviews. Also, then that progressed into me getting back into commentary. I decided to get back into commentary. I decided to start breaking stories and giving my opinion, finding all the receipts I can, and going down the rabbit hole of deep diving stories. I got a reputation for getting receipts. I got a reputation for being a critical thinker, an objective thinker. I've got a lot of credit for not following the masses and going on what I think. Okay. Now, if you guys are not aware, and let me pull Karmelo down for a second, because there's been some things being said that I thought was kind of interesting. And I'm like, clearly, you know nothing about who I am. Clearly, you know nothing about my channel. Clearly, you know nothing about me at all. If your opinion is, I seen somebody make a comment and they said, oh, you never hold Black people accountable. Well, for 8 years, Black people have been the subject of my commentary. My highest viewed videos are me holding Black people accountable. Now, I know you guys see some far right-wing supremacists, and all they do is shape narratives, lie on Black people, make up stories, make up narratives, make up stuff out of thin air to just say anything that they feel will make Black people look bad. I am a person who my majority of my videos, I cover the Black community. I cover Black stories. I'm not somebody that seeks white validation, okay? And not to say anything is, well, I do think it's wrong for people who bootleg, but that's not me, okay? I'm not somebody who, just because I look at these far right-wing supremacists and how they lie, I'm not somebody who feels as though, well, because they lie and because they make up stuff, that I then need to lie and make up stuff. I'm going to stick on who I am, to my core, what I find to be integral, what I find to be, you know, my opinion. I don't do what I do based on what they do. Okay. So I also saw people say, and it was a big riot, right? So when I said that I had these text messages from Karmelo, I saw two different conversations happening, right? I saw that there was conversations who were upset that I decided that I did not want to withdraw my support of Karmelo based on the things that he said about Black women, right? Then I saw that there was conversations who felt like, oh, well, why did you even mention what he said about Black women? By you mentioning that, you're falling into the white person's plan and you're trying to get people to not support him, and you're just playing into their thing, and you're just doing what the white man wants you to do. First of all, I'm not playing into anything. The information is out there. Okay. So whether I mention what he said or whether the news mentions what he said, the information is out there. Now, if you don't know anything about me, I've spent years, okay, years dragging people for filth for less. Okay. However, I saw the corruption in this case. I saw the smear campaigns that was playing out on social media. I saw the efforts that they were going to railroad this boy. So even though in the past, yes, I've dragged people for less for comments that they've made about Black women, I feel like it's important to stick to the facts. Me bringing up the fact that he made those comments does not mean that I make the comments appear or that I make them go away. If I don't mention that he made those comments and I just gloss over it like I didn't see it, then that makes me a hypocrite. I saw the comments and I plan to still support because I feel like this story is much bigger than that. This is a whole system, okay? And whether he made these comments or not, what they're doing to him can be any of our children, okay? What they're doing to him could be your son, your daughter, and anybody else. What I saw was insane, okay? So I'm sorry that some of you feel like, oh, well, you shouldn't talk about it because, you know, the white man wants you to talk about it. Oh, and then the other people who feel like, oh, well, you shouldn't support. You cannot control me, okay? You cannot control what I do or how I feel about it. I feel like I went down to that courthouse. I saw how the sheriffs were. I saw how the judge was. I saw how the whole case went. I saw how white supremacists came up there with guns trying to intimidate anybody Black. I saw how I was targeted for telling the truth about what was going on in the courthouse. I saw the whole kit and caboodle. And because I saw all of those things, I feel like it is bigger than that comment. Okay? That's just what I feel. Now, also, okay, in addition to how I feel about that, I seen somebody else feel like they were telling on me, okay, because I plan to go over all of the comments, okay? So somebody, okay, went being messy, saw my post saying, hey, you know, I'm going to go over all of the comments, and they said, oh, well, you know, I'm going to tell on her. And they called themselves telling on me to people. I'm a grown ass woman. Okay. If I saw comments and I said, you know what, you know, now that I have this information, I no longer want to support. If that's what I wanted to do, I could do what the fuck I want to do. However, that's not what I said. Okay. That's not what I said. I never said that I was not going to support this young man. I do believe that he was well within his right for self-defense. I do believe that the Metcalf thugs going around assaulting people, okay, was a situation where they thought they could do it to somebody else, and they found out that everybody ain't going for that bully shit, okay? But you cannot tell on me, okay, because I'm going to do what I want to do. Okay, so thinking that you're gonna and talking about, oh well, if she's gonna get backlash. Let her flip on Karmelo. She's gonna get backlash. Number one, I never said that I was flipping on him, but let's be fucking clear. Let's be all the way clear that at any point that I get new information, I'm entitled to change my mind based on new information. I received new information and it didn't change my mind. It didn't change my support. But let's be very clear that if I get information today that changed my mind about how I look at something, I'm entitled to change my mind. Okay? So I don't know who you think you're telling on, but bitch, I do what I want to do. Now, I'm a page that if I was worried about people giving me backlash, I would have picked Team Nicki or Team Cardi when it was popular. Okay? I get on this page, I drag Nicki Minaj, I drag Cardi B, and I look at both of their audiences and not give a damn about it. Backlash where? I never gave a fuck about backlash. I never get that. That's not me. I don't run my page based off what's popular. I don't run my page based off of what the narrative is. I don't run my page off of, oh, well, everybody's saying go with Nikki. Okay, well, I'm going to follow. Go look at my page. I've never been somebody that followed anybody's bandwagon. If I told you I support Karmelo, if I told you what I saw, I felt was corruption, that's because that's what I think. I went into that courthouse. I saw them supremacists. I seen them come up there, try to intimidate. I saw the smear campaigns that they were doing. I feel like it was corrupt. Me. My mind is based on what I think. I think that this is bigger than those comments. I think that although there are some messages, okay, that were definitely taken out of context, I think that if a person looks at some of the other messages, they might think, well, you know, I don't agree with this or that. I'm not about to, you know, I can't control how people perceive things. Okay? That's not up to me. So before we got into the nitty and gritty, I felt like it was very necessary to remind y'all, and I can even show y'all even further. One second, because I've seen a lot of supremacists and they're in the chat. They're obsessed. They're literally obsessed. Some of these far right wing people are so obsessed. They have threads, full threads about me on Twitter. Okay. This section is specifically for y'all, okay? Because y'all so lazy to do your own work on people. Y'all just go off of what other people say. Do your own research on me, baby. Okay? Like, look up my record yourself. Okay? So before I ever covered Karmelo Anthony, I was already in several documentaries. Okay? I'm not the little redhead bitch that she needs this for her claim of fame. This is the only time that she's ever had any sense of relevance in her fucking life. And she's grasping at straws to try to keep it going. That's not me. Before I ever stepped foot in Collin County, I have been in several documentaries, several publications for my work. I made it on CNN based on my commentary on the Diddy trial. I made it in R. Kelly documentaries based on my commentary on R. Kelly. I made it on Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion documentaries based on my work that I did covering the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion case. I was in tons of publications for that, okay? Now, I also covered Nature Boy, which is a cult that blew up in the Black community. Okay, I did several videos on it. I was in the documentary, The Cult of Nature Boy. Now, they flashed me on there real quick, but my ass was there. My publication was there. My website was posted. All of those things, okay? I was mentioned on TMZ when I did the ASAP Rocky trial, okay? I was the only person to get an exclusive interview after the trial wrapped with a juror in the ASAP Rocky case, okay? All of the news media, every big publication, they went to the front because they was waiting to see what Rihanna had to say. I went to the back after all of the jurors left out the back, and I got an exclusive interview with the juror that landed on TMZ and the news, etc. When I covered T.I. and Tiny, I was the only publication to also get an exclusive interview with the juror 2 times after the case. Okay, so I'm gonna need y'all to put some respect on my name. I don't go to these court cases for friends. I don't go to these court cases to try to get clicks and try to get people to like me. I go to these court cases because I'm heavily invested in trying to figure out what's going on. And I give a damn about putting my eyes on it and giving my opinion. So don't ever in your life think that I go up to these court cases to try to be a part of anybody's club, friendship, group, clique, any fucking thing. I don't give a fuck. I'm an only child, in case you didn't know. I don't have brothers or sisters. Okay? I came out this world by myself on my own. Okay? It don't get no more a lone wolf than that. However, when it comes to my people, the Black community, and it comes to supremacists and coons, I feel very strongly about that. So don't play with me. But to the far right-wing supremacists who you just now hearing about me, okay, you just now finding out about me, let me show you some of my work, because I got some pretty good videos on my channel that you might want to check out. Sorry if I'm sweating. It's getting a little once I get worked up, I get worked up. Okay. But let me show y'all some of my work. Hold on one second. So these are my most popular videos, okay? So if you go to my channel, you can sort my videos based on the most popular, right? My first video to hit 1 million views was YouTubers exposed for colorism. This is Black people talking about other Black people. And I went in a deep dive 8 years ago, and this video goes viral constantly. I could be doing nothing, like minding my business, and all of a sudden this video is viral again. It goes viral all the time. Okay, it's a video that I did 8 years ago calling out people in the Black community. This is my work for King Von, talking about the King Von situation. This is one of my other biggest videos, me talking about a woman, a Black woman, who exposed a Black man who she said was on the DL, and it turns out that that wasn't the case. I went through all the receipts to show that she was on some bullshit and why it was a bigger picture. Another story that blew up my channel was Kanika Jenkins. This is all 8 years ago, okay? This was huge on my channel, going over Kanika, going down the rabbit hole, going down all of that. These are things that are on my channel, period. Now, 9 months ago, there was Black kids who jumped a Black woman. This blew up on my channel, okay? All things that have nothing to do with white people, okay? R. Kelly, I did exclusive interviews, hairstylist who put her client out. All of these are Black stories. So before you start running your mouth about what I do on my channel and who I hold accountable, how about you go check for yourself and you see for yourself that for years, that's what I do, okay? Again, I'm not the little redhead bitch who needs to cater to y'all because y'all hate Black people so much, so she got to craft these carefully curated lies about us. I don't have to do that. Because if I feel like there's something that somebody in my community does wrong, I'm going to call it out. I spent days going over the Naziah Harris case where the uncle of the baby mama or the step uncle or whatever. So don't play with me with that. Okay? Sick of y'all. So yeah, so just go to the live tab also. Those are just some of my videos that are in the video tab, but you can even go to the live tab. Okay? There's separate categories for live videos and there's separate categories for videos. You know, go through them. Educate your damn self, because you look like a damn fool talking what you don't know. But anyways, right. Anyways, let's get on into this. Somebody said, Neek, stop letting them get to you. It's not just a particular crowd. It's it's just anybody who might got it fucked up. Okay, I'm talking to the white supremacists that may got it fucked up. I'm talking to the Black people who feel like, oh, I'm not supposed to bring up certain things. I'm talking to the people, like anybody who you know what I mean? Period. So with that being said, okay, let's get into the video. But I just wanted to say that because I was highly upset earlier. Somebody said, I kind of wish, child, they're irrelevant. Okay, they're like irrelevant. they're relevant in the sense of like naming them and all of that kind of stuff. But I just felt like it needed to be said because, anyways. So without further ado, shout out to all of y'all in the chat. Hopefully y'all hit the like button. Hopefully you guys who don't mind an acquired taste, y'all hit the hype button. Okay. And some of y'all said that y'all have not been able to hit the hype button. I don't know how it works. I think that once I'm no longer live, then you can hit the hype button. But child, however you do it, do it. Okay, so let's get into it. So, anyways, yesterday I did a video where I told you guys that I had all of the text messages that were submitted by the prosecution. Okay. And me mentioning me having those text messages, I told you guys that some of the stuff was taken out of context. Okay. And basically, somebody said you only get 3 hypes per week. Okay. Well, however many hypes y'all get, use them. But anyways, so I told you guys that I'm going to be going over those things, which I will. Now, in another video, I also told you guys that I was going to go over the Austin Metcalf stuff as well. Now, I've already shown you guys the Austin Metcalf stuff, and I will show it on the screen again. And then I will show you guys the text messages that were shared in Karmelo Anthony case. Now, again, I want you guys to know I am going to support Karmelo through and through. I feel like he was railroaded. I feel like that, yes, there were some concerning texts. I'm not going to see other people, they want you to lie and be like, oh no, all the texts were good. You're going to see for yourself the text. So why would I lie to y'all? A lot of the stuff was taken out of context. Okay. But there was some stuff that was like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. However, whatever the texts are, I think that is bigger than those text messages. I think that the corruption, the backdoor, gentleman's agreement, how they were coordinating smear campaigns, how just all of it, I feel like is bigger than those texts. I think that if I am a person and I've seen these little thugs going around and jumping people, bullying people, and now they want to try me, I'm going to want to defend myself. Okay? Period. Now, again, I've always said that whether or not he should have purchased a knife or brought a knife, that's up to the individual to interpret. Okay. I think that he had a right to defend himself. Whether or not that involved a knife, that's up to you as an individual to determine. Okay. I spent time in Collin County, and I feel like whenever I was there, I felt like it was better for me to be with it than without it. If you get my drift. Okay. That was the first time I declared any of the things. Like I went to the counter at the airport and declared an item and had to tag it. If you know, you know. So I spent very little time in Collin County, and I felt that, child, please, you won't catch me without it. So I can understand why a person may feel like, child, it's better for me to have it than don't have it. Now, whether or not you feel like a shove equals a stab, that's on you. That's an individual thing. You get what I'm saying? That's an individual thing that you would have to come to terms with. Okay? I'm not gonna say if it's right, if it's wrong. That's up to you to decide, you know, what you think. But I can only speak on myself that when I was there, I didn't feel like I was safe to not have, you know. So, hey. But okay, so before I go over the text messages, let me pull up again. Let's go over some of the things that was on the twins' records. Okay. These were shared by Teslin, and she posted up the document, and we're gonna look through it, and then you guys tell me, hey, how you feel and relates to what Karmelo Anthony record shows. So this is what the defense showed in their motion. Now, another thing that is very manipulative, and the reason why I feel like it is important for us to have all of the facts, is because they will skew the facts, right? So in this motion, what the defense did was they took the text and they put it in written form, right? So it didn't take up as much space as the prosecution. So where the defense pulled out all of their bad acts and said, hey, the twins did this, the twins did that, what they did was wrote it in paragraph form. So it didn't take up as many pages. Okay. So now what they're doing is they're saying, look, the rap sheet for the twins only took up 22 pages and they had 75 pages of things on Karmelo. Let's be clear. Most of the pages, and I'm going to show you guys in a second, most of the pages, they take up, like, say this is how from here to here is how big the page is, right? A lot of the pages, they'll take up about this much of the page, and that'll count as one page. So now, and then in other parts of it, they'll put like a picture, and then the picture will take up most of the page. So now their narrative is, oh, well, they had 22 pages on our boys, but they have 75 pages on Karmelo. And it's like, just because you took a screenshot of a picture and you didn't even use up the whole page and you stretched it out multiple pages does not mean that you have more bad information on Karmelo. Like, that's literally doesn't mean that. But that's what they're trying to shape it as now. So I'm going to show you guys how the defense put in their motion. They didn't put in screenshots of text messages where it took up page after page. They just, hey, this is a bad act. This is a bad act. This is a bad act. This is what evidence we have. This is what it shows. And so it's not as lengthy. But they put, this is a screenshot. This is a screenshot. It's totally different, but you'll see what I mean. So let me bring this up. So this is their motion. And so as you can see right here, hold on. This is how they did it. So you see 48, 49, 50, 51, and how they say Austin used the N-word here. They didn't put a bunch of fluff in between to take up a whole bunch of space. So on here, it shows, and it says, they had all of these different things, 1 through however much, right? And on here, it says, on December 24th, Austin or Hunter was standing over their mother, grabbing her throat aggressively. They did a Cellbrite dump, and it says either Austin or Hunter are very angry and aggressively grabbing their mother's throat. Well, they could have inserted the thing and took up all this space. That's not how this was. So they did a Cellbrite dump on both of their phones. They took Austin's phone and they hooked it up to Cellbrite, and they got all of the contents out of it. They did the same thing with Karmelo. They did a dump on his phone, and they did a dump on it. So one of the pictures, what they're describing is one of the twins over their mama just choking her out. That's one of the things that they have evidence of. And if anything that they had evidence of was a lie, the other side would have objected and said that it's not true. If they tried to enter into anything into evidence, and if they tried to enter it into evidence and say, hey, there's something in the phone that shows them aggressively choking out the mom, if that wasn't true, the prosecution would have objected to it and said that they're lying. They never did that. So obviously, this is true, and there is proof that one of them, okay, was over the mama choking her ass out. It's there. It's proof of that. They have it. Also, it says another thing that they had was Austin using the N-word, talking about another student named Keon. Number 49, Austin using, and mind you, before you get to 49, there was 1 through 49 that you had to get through. I can pull out my notes and go through some of the other stuff, but this is easier. So Austin using the N-word, and his friend made a racist joke. Then on a separate occasion, there was Austin using the N-word with the hard R. All right. Then there was another situation where Austin was calling his dad the N-word when he was upset. Austin calling his dad the N-word and asking his dad, can you read, when his dad didn't understand what Austin was saying. Page 590 through 592, it says Austin calling his dad the N-word after his dad told him and Hunter to take their medication for their ADHD. Number 52, Austin holding a butterfly knife saying, come F with me now. Okay. So they have pictures and images of this, right? So one of the things that they're trying to say is a smoking gun for Karmelo. They're like, oh, well, Karmelo, he's cooked. He's going to get max life. He's going to spend the rest of his life in jail because he mentioned the blade with the knife. They have the same evidence for Austin Metcalf. They have the same evidence that he spoke about a knife before, and he had a similar knife. Now, Karmelo had a multi-tool. He had one of those butterfly knives. You know those knives that you flick them out and they come out? They have proof of him saying, with a butterfly knife, saying, hey, come F with me. Somebody said, yeah, but the difference is Austin is the one that's dead. I see this a lot. So let me get this straight, right? Because I've seen this comment a lot. A lot of you seem to think that if you go up to somebody, you put your hands on them, okay? That is the evidence in this case. Karmelo didn't put his hands on Austin first. Austin put his hands on Karmelo first. But when you guys make comments like this and you say, yeah, but the difference is Austin is the one dead, to me, that makes me think that because you think the one that lost the fight means that you're the victim. Now, by court's definition, he's the victim. But just because you put your hands on somebody and then somebody defends himself and you lose, it doesn't mean that your pattern of behavior is irrelevant. You have a pattern of assaulting Black people. This case, you assaulted a Black person. You put your hands on somebody that did not put their hands on you. And just because you put your hands on somebody and you lost, okay, does not mean that what led up to it is irrelevant. A lot of you guys seem to think that, oh, well, Austin died, so anything that he did is irrelevant. Wrong. If you have a behavior of assaulting Black people and putting your hands on them, and this is a case where you put your hands on another Black person and said Black person retaliated, just because you died does not mean that your actions that led up to it are irrelevant. That's not how it goes. Now, the same thing for Karmelo. the stuff that he put in his text message may be relevant to the prosecution. There's things that he said that to them may be relevant, may show what they want to show. Somebody said, no, you are wrong. That's why Melo is still locked up. Okay. Okay. Melo is locked up because he had an unfair trial. He's in a racist county that charged him with charges that he would not have gotten if he was white. He's in a county where there are similar cases where a stabbing happened and the most that the person got was manslaughter. So him being locked up in what I saw to be a very corrupt trial is not an indication that, oh, well, that's proof that what they said is irrelevant just because he's locked up. Like, stop. But anyways, let me stop looking at the comments because we have a lot of irrational thinkers. And again, if that's what you think, hey, think what you think. But I believe that it's relevant. If I go around, and these are the same people, right? The same people who are saying that, oh, everything is irrelevant. They're the same people who went out of their way to smear mud on George Floyd. We all saw George Floyd die from the officer putting their knee on his neck for however many minutes. What was it, 12 minutes? How he said, I can't breathe, and how the officer was aggressive in their approach. They went over what the category called for. These same people went and found out, oh, he was arrested when he was 12. Oh, look, let's try to justify this officer killing him. Oh, look, he got arrested because he smoked weed one day. Or, oh, look, he got arrested. None of that had anything to do with why he died that day. But yet these same people will try to get you to believe that your background are irrelevant. Like, cut it out, okay? Like, literally, stop. But anyways, let's continue. So also, they have proof of Austin holding a butterfly knife saying, come F with me now. It says, also, Anthony once saw Austin or Hunter get into a fight with a kid at a basketball game and can describe knowing that at least one of them are aggressive and prone to fights. Now, this is something that the far right like to leave out. They like to go with the narrative that these kids don't know each other, never seen each other, don't know each other, and that Karmelo just out of the blue just looked at Austin and decided that he needed to protect himself and that it was far-reaching. They want you to think that Karmelo never seen either of these boys a day in his life. Mind you, when the defense shared their case in chief, they showed photos of Eddie and Karmelo at a track meet. Eddie is on the same team as Austin and Hunter. So you mean to tell me that they both play track, they all play basketball, they all play football, their teams compete against each other, they go to these track meets and see one another. There's literal pictures that was used in trial that shows Eddie from an opposing team and Karmelo from his team sitting on a bench together and talking. But you want us to believe that Karmelo never saw them ever. I was in high school before. Now, I've been out of high school for 20 years. Okay, now, you know, I know I look good for my age, but I've been out of high school for 20 years. Even though I've been out of high school for 20 years, when I was in high school, I knew who the star players were from other schools, and I was not even an athlete. The athletes know who other athletes are, especially if they are thugs that are menaces to society, always assaulting Black people. They know that. You guys have picture of them together. Let me see if I can find the picture of Eddie and Karmelo sitting on the bench together at the track meet. One second, let me see if I can find the picture. Because these same people want you to believe that, oh, that's a lie. Karmelo didn't know them. He didn't know them at all. But yet they literally have pictures of them sitting together at the track meet. Hold on. Let me try to pull it up real quick. Hold on. And then I'll go to my next thing. Hold on. There's the website that has all of the let me see. They released all of the pictures. I thought I had it, but hold on. They have it on the website though. Let me see. Hold on. Here we go. I got it. The picture. Holds on. Let me just show y'all this picture before we go to how do I rotate it? Oh, there we go. Okay, let me show this and then I will go to the next point. All right, hold on. 1 second. All right, so as you can see right here, this is a track meet that was, I want to say, 2 weeks prior to the incident. This is a picture that was captured of Eddie Parra and Karmelo Anthony at a track meet. Now, the defense, when they came up, their point was that, listen, it's common for kids to talk and sit amongst each other at the track meet. It's common for the teams to be speaking to one another, etc. This is Eddie on the track team, the same track team that Austin and Hunter were a part of. As you can see, they're sitting together talking, okay? So if you go in a little bit closer, it is Eddie Para has on the yellow, and Karmelo has on the red and black with the gray top. Okay, so there's evidence that just because you go to different schools, that doesn't mean that you don't know each other, you don't intermingle with each other. These kids went to different schools and they knew of each other. Okay. Now back to what I was saying. So a part of what the Carmelo Anthony's defense wanted people to know was, prior to the incident that happened, there was an incident where Carmelo saw the Metcalf thugs jumping somebody. Okay. Also, if you look at Carmelo's text, which I'll show you next, you'll see that he's been jumped before. Number one, he's been jumped before. Number two, he saw them jumping people. Okay. He witnessed it at another game. For the people to say, well, he doesn't know who they are, it's not hard to see that these twins and know that they have a reputation, period. Then also what they wanted to note, and to the people who are begging for my attention in the chat, I see you. Thank you for watching. Every time you comment, it adds to my engagement. So keep on commenting. I welcome you to comment. Comment some more. Are you mad? Let's get you madder. You know, maybe I'm not making you probably ain't making enough comments. You know, you probably ain't mad enough. Get real mad, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Okay, like, I don't care. You want my attention? Make sure when you're looking, you see me for my good side. Also, y'all know y'all can always support via Cash App, via Super Chat, or by simply liking the video. Okay. Another person said, oh my God, all she does is beg for Cash Apps. Well, I would rather my community support me if they wanted to, versus lying, instigating on people, lying about them, doing smear campaigns on them, and then playing victim when they react, and then lying to y'all, making it seem like that people want them dead, and lying for security that they already got up there with guns. I'd much rather to get support the honest way than lying, playing victim. So, I mean, I know y'all like to give money to people, victim stories on Give, Send, Go. My audience can support me the honest way if they'd like to. You know, I don't have to lie on y'all. Everything that I've said about these twins are things that came up in trial, in my opinion, based on that. I'm not making up shit on them. Okay? I'm not like y'all. I don't have to make up stuff and make up stories and make up lies about people, lie about when I arrived to court, lie about people doing. I don't have to make up lie. If I told you something, it's because it's actually happening and I can actually back it up. The other side can't do the same. They just gonna lie so you could shake your purse. Okay? If my audience want to donate, I prefer to let them know where they can donate. Anyways, going on, continuing on. So now let's continue. So, Carmelo already knew about these individuals prior to the situation. He saw how they got down. He saw that they were jumping people and already knew that he might have to defend himself, you know? Then we heard about this graffiti. Now, I'm not going to say, because last time I said what this said, my page, you know, they messed with my page. But let me show y'all. So this is what they said. Read the top row. This is what they said in graffiti. They got arrested for this, and they got on probation for this and everything. Okay. This was on their record. The police had body cam footage of it. They were a part of this. And this is what came up in court. Some of the boys who also were in the situation with Karmelo, I remember seeing some of these names also that picked on Karmelo, a part of this whole gig. And Logan's mom said, she said, I would rather him learn now than in 5 years I have to deal with a body bag or something. So their parents knew that the road that they were going down could end up in a bad result. Okay. So after this was uncovered, you had family members who were like, oh no, like, okay, like, I'm glad that the police are dealing with this now so that I don't have to deal with a body bag later, because they saw the trajectory that they were going on. Okay. They saw the trajectory that they were leaning into. All right. In addition to this, there was several other bad acts. Okay. There was several other things that was going on where they at a track meet said that they should kill a Hispanic boy. So another time they were at a track meet. It says Austin had messages about killing a student sitting on the bench behind theirs at a track meet. So at a different time, not in relation to Karmelo, a whole other time, they were sitting at the track meet. There was a Hispanic boy who sat in the bench behind. They started texting each other. Okay, they started texting one another, and they said, one Edgar behind our bench was talking wild. Okay, if you guys are under a rock and you don't know what Edgar means, Edgar is slang for a young ghetto Hispanic boy. They, Austin Metcalf, said, kill that MFer. Okay, so they want to say that, oh, Karmelo said something about licking the blade, whatever, and he's gonna get more time. And it was a track meet, so that you guys have the same type of messaging, if not worse. You're texting a Hispanic boy of color. I mean, you're texting about a Hispanic boy of color saying that he's behind the bench, same as Karmelo was behind the bench, and saying, kill that MFer. Okay. So when people go and they say, oh, well, you know, Karmelo was worse, and if he goes to get another trial, he's going to get more time. That depends on who is making the argument, because it's not about the evidence. It's about who has the better argument, for real, and how you can present that to a jury and how you can let them know how it's relevant or not. Okay. They both, if you're going to say, oh, well, Karmelo said something about a blade. Well, Austin said something about killing people too. Okay. Then it says the day before the incident, Hunter was banned from class. And it says, Christian said, we grounded from Stevens' advisory until next week, and Hunter kept kicking the door, and Mrs. James got mad. And then Hunter said, no, we not. I'm talking to her. F that weak ass teacher. So on April 1st, he was banned from school. Now, I know a lot of these far right supremacists, they love to carry the lie to say that Karmelo was suspended from school and that he wasn't supposed to be at the track meet. There's no evidence of that. That has not come out in court. That didn't come out during the original trial. That didn't come out during the motion for new trial. There's literally not one evidence that says that Karmelo was not supposed to be there. the evidence that did come out was that Austin Metcalf and Hunter's coach said that he did not want them there because they're shit players. All they do is brag and leave early, and he didn't want them at the track meet. Now, at the last minute, he changed his mind and allowed them to come. But if we're going to be honest and say anybody wasn't supposed to be at the track meet, the evidence shows that it was the twins originally not supposed to be at the track meet because his coach said that they're shit players and all they do is be starting BS and leaving early. However, he changed his mind at the last minute and he let them come. Karmelo, even though they're saying, you know, oh, he made this comment or that comment or this comment, he was not suspended from school. He was not supposed to be at the track meet. He was literally supposed to be there, and he had a track meet run that he was doing that day. Okay. So, you know, there's that. Now, it says Hunter messages about jumping kids from Independence track meet at a prior track meet. So it says Hunter said, "These shitty indie kids talking," referring to Independence High School track students. Hunter then said, "Let's jump them." Someone from an unknown number said, "Someone recorded." Hunter said, "I got it." Okay. So I just want to go over some of these things before I show you Karmelo's text messages, because we need both of them to show and compare. All right. So then you have this one where it says, during a February 3rd, 2025 conversation, Austin used the N-word and said, "F Edwin Parra." And Hunter said, "We have two N-words, you gonna punt." It says NIHS is short for niggas. Okay. So Edwin Parra, if you guys don't know, is this guy right here that I just showed you that was photographed talking to Karmelo Anthony at a prior track meet. They knew each other. Karmelo went to talk to him that day. Okay. He went to talk to him. He knew him. That he had already prior talked to him at other track meets. He had already seen him at other track meets. They had already been familiar, etc. And this is the way that they talked about him when he wasn't around. Now, pause and read the rest of the stuff if you want to. It says on October 23rd, Austin bullied a black student in class and used racial slurs. Pause and read, pause and read. He called another student a black ass hoe and bragged about how the coaches would not do anything because he is a starter on the varsity. The teacher noted that Tehran gets picked on a lot in class by the other football players. All right. Then this also came out where Hunter was threatening to hit cheerleaders and saying that he was gonna be about that life because his hands are bisexual. And what that means is that he will hit boys and girls. And the cheerleaders were very scared of these twins. They filed complaints with the school. They were terrified of them because they were bullies. Okay. They were bullies. There was emails between the parents. There was emails between the staff because these kids were bullies, and nothing happened because they got away with it. All right. It says May 2018, Austin and Hunter bullied and assaulted Ashley Jenkins and were arrested for assault. Metcalf and Jenkins shoving incident. It says on May 14, 2018, an incident between Austin Metcalf and Ashley Jenkins, marked as Amberly Bergman in the grand jury testimony. It says Ashley Jenkins, a student at Bright Elementary School, was participating in a game of capture the flag during PE class. While trying to tag Austin Metcalf, she accidentally touched his face. This angered Austin, who then forcefully shoved Jenkins to the ground, using both hands, causing her to suffer bruises and pain in her shoulders. Jenkins went to the hospital where she was diagnosed with a deep bruise contusion on her left shoulder as a result of the trauma. It says Kutney mother stated that Jenkins is frequently targeted for bullying by Austin and his twin brother, both at school and their neighborhood, etc. All right. So it says Austin was arrested for assault causing bodily injury. Okay. And then it went down the list of other assaults on women and other things that were documented to have happened. This is him punching Sadie in the face. Pause and read. Another instance was messages about them getting kicked out of a football game and wanting to beat up kids. This is text threads. So again, when the defense showed some of the messages, this is how the defense laid out what the text message said, right? So as you can see, it says, someone named William messaged what happened today at the game. How come y'all left? Austin replied, got kicked out. William, dang, why y'all getting a fight or something? Austin said, almost. Hunter said they were talking. But look at how they posted it, right? So when the defense put up their exhibit, they didn't put up a bunch of screenshots that took up a lot of space. The prosecution knows that they have this information and they can show it if they want. Like, if this information was false, the prosecution would object to it. So when they did their evidence, they just jotted down, hey, this is what this person said, this is what this person said, and they took up minimal space. Once I show you the messages from Karmelo, you're going to see how they took screenshots of the messages and they'll put like one little screenshot, they'll squeeze it and fill up the page, and how they just wasted a bunch of papers. And with that, now they're trying to craft the narrative like, oh, look, we have more pages than them, so we have more bad stuff on Karmelo. Matter of fact, let me show y'all just an example really quickly. Hold on. Let me show y'all an example of what I mean real quick. So let me put this up. Let me show y'all an example real quick. All right. So example. So you see how they have screenshots here? So you see how this screenshot takes up the entire page? So they're using the fact that they inserted actual screenshots and it spread across the page as saying, look, Karmelo did far more stuff than us because we have more pages. And they're trying to say because these screenshots, look at this. You see how this screenshot, they use this much of the paper? You see how much is left on the page? So they put these little screenshots in there. And their thing is, oh, well, because our pages equaled up to 75, that we got more bad stuff on Karmelo than they got on Austin because they only had 22 pages. Matter of fact, let me show y'all the interview that Jeff Metcalf did. 1 second. To show y'all what I mean by how they're trying to spin it.
Get a life sentence.
You got handed a life sentence.
So did Megan, so did Hunter, and so did everybody else in my family and her family. We don't ever get to see Austin again. We don't get to talk to him. We don't get to hug him. This guy, he still gets to see his family. It's a tragedy that he has to be in prison. I feel sorry for him. Just due to the fact that his life is pretty much ruined. I don't feel sorry for what he did, though. he needs to be held accountable.
Notoriety about the killing spread beyond Texas, due in no small part to social media posts that amplified elements of the case involving race. There were no black jurors, and critics questioned whether Anthony received a fair trial.
Do you have a sense of why some people can't accept that they believe Karmelo Anthony did not get a fair trial?
Sure. There are people in this world that will believe whatever they're told. They follow. They're sheep.
Can I ask you about the racial element of the case?
Sure.
How did it get that way?
It's real simple. The other side decided to bring it up.
He said it started when he was asked to leave a press conference by Anthony's parents shortly after his son's murder.
He was not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family.
I think that day is when race was really entered into it. Because till that point, I never looked at it as a black and white thing. It was a right and wrong thing. That's all. Whoever did it, my first question was, one, where's his parents? How was he raised? Why did this happen? Not, oh, he's black, he must be guilty. It never even crossed my mind. It doesn't matter. I don't see color.
At trial, prosecutors and defense attorneys made a secret deal to focus on what happened under that tent and exclude evidence about Anthony and Metcalf's character or past behavior.
We're not going to drag stuff from what they did in fourth grade. We're not going to drag stuff from this guy's character, because at the end of the day, it's real simple. They had 20 pages on my boys. I read it. They had 75 pages on Karmelo. I read that. If it would have came out in court, I think he would have got more.
After the verdict, Jeff Metcalf appeared on a podcast where he used racially charged language and disparaged Anthony's family.
What was that about?
One, yes, I said it. Two, I own it. I'm not backing away from it. If you listen to the 10 seconds before the clip and you get the context, because I'll repeat it for everybody right now. I'm not racist.
All right, so let me pause him right there. So you see how full of crap they are, where he's like, oh, they got 22 pages on Austin, but they only have, they got 75 pages on Karmelo. Again, I'm going to show you guys how they got these 75 pages, because they wasted a lot of pages with putting in, screenshots of the text, not filling the page, and all of that. Now, he's going to try to make us believe that he's not racist. Okay? He's not racist. It was an experiment. Okay? It was just a social experiment. And this social experiment was just to show us that things can get taken, and he could say something, sis, and it could go viral. He thinks that we're stupid, but that's what they think, that we're dumb. Okay? Look at the way that some of their faves, they think that we're stupid. They think that if they say it, then we're just going to be like, oh, yeah, that's what it means. We don't think that you guys act in good faith. We don't think that you guys tell the truth. Okay? And by you guys, I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about them, the Metcalfs. Okay? I'm talking about the far right supremacists that they got as their mouthpieces. That's what I'm talking about. We don't think that y'all could tell the truth, because y'all have just done nothing but spin certain things, period.
Let me make something up that is racist, and I bet you it will go viral on the internet. I got handed a life sentence.
You got handed a life sentence.
So did Megan.
All right. So that was him saying that, right? Also, another thing that he says, and I meant to pause him when he said it, was he said that race got entered into this because he went to a press conference, and because he got pointed away, then that's where race got brought into it. Sir, did you forget what your little mouthpiece was running around and saying at that same time? Did you forget about when the bond was reduced and how the judge was doxxed and how there was all of these racists saying all of this stuff to say that, oh, well, race got put into it because I got put away from a press conference is disingenuous, and you're full of shit. Prior to that, Karmelo Anthony had a bond hearing where a Black woman judge reduced his bond from $1 million to $250,000. She got death threats. There was all of these racial things and threats made prior to that. Then you showed up. Nobody knows what your intentions are. Okay? How are they supposed to know what your intentions are? You come up, you don't come up with nothing. You got a fanny pack on. You got all of this stuff. How do they know what you think that they're going to let you close to their son? Anybody who came up with the narrative, who claimed that, oh, the parents were wrong for turning him away. Well, I would have been wrong too, because I don't know what your intentions are. I don't know what your intentions are, sir. You didn't make your intentions clear. You didn't make your intentions clear. And the same way that they didn't know what your intentions are, you're now, fast forward, you're now using the fact of this press conference as a means to make further threats. Now, again, the far right supremacists will try to make us think that what he's saying here is not a threat. We're not dumb, okay? We're not idiots, okay? We know what a threat looks like. We can read between the lines. But they want us to believe, oh, well, he didn't say it all the way, so then that means it's not a threat. We're not stupid. They think that we're stupid. We're not dumb. We're literally not dumb. So, Jeff, if you guys don't know, when we were at the motion for new trial, he was mad dogging people. He was there just acting like a big child, right? He's there to see whether or not that, you know, this motion goes through for recusal, this motion goes through for new trial, and represent his son. This is the same guy who said that I have a campaign, a foundation in my child's honor. My foundation is so that we can teach people conflict resolution. And I need you guys to give me your money. I need you guys to give me more money. I've already raised 600, almost 700,000. However, and this is just me paraphrasing because this is what I got from it. I already got 700,000, but I need y'all to give me some more money. So I've created a fund so that I can utilize these resources of anti-bullying, okay, and help other kids have better conflict resolution. Now, that's not what he said exactly, but that's what I interpreted from it, because he's asking for money. He's saying that he has an anti-bully foundation, and he's saying that he's going to be able to teach kids conflict resolution. I did a whole video on that. People ask at the press conference, they're like, well, what's going to happen when people ask you about the racist stuff that you said? What's going to happen when you need to implement this conflict resolution? Well, people are going to say that you don't have the same skills because you went on that racist rant. I did a video on it. It's there. Now, again, I'm paraphrasing, and he didn't say what I said exactly, but that's the gist of it. At the motion for new trial, he's there. He's mad dogging people. Whether he likes Dominique Alexander or not, that's he a grown ass man. But you can't be out here saying that I have a fund in my child's honor and I'm going to be the face of conflict resolution, and you out here sending threats to people. Okay? So he said, say it to my face, you're a coward. Called you out and you slither away. When the denied ruling is issued, you're going to have another press conference. I promise to attend. See you around. So this was something that he sent to Dominique Alexander. And he was saying, just like the last time that there was a press conference and he got sent away, he wants Dominique to say it to his face, like he's on timing. But yet this the same person that want people to donate money to a fund that's supposed to be about conflict resolution. Are you trying to raise money to help people not be bullies, or are you trying to grift your son's death? I don't know which one it is. Okay? I can't tell. It's hard to tell. But this looks like a threat from somebody claiming to be about anti-bullying. You got a whole foundation about it, and when does the conflict resolution start? Does it start with the kids? Does it start with you? Who's the example? You know, somebody said, how did he know it would be denied? I don't know. Sounds like there's leaks also somewhere. I have no idea. They've been getting information, exclusive information that sounds like they're not supposed to have. So how did he know? I don't know. Maybe he had an intuition. Maybe he just felt it. Maybe he prayed and that's that's what came to him, or maybe it was leaked. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But you know, it's interesting how they try to sway things. Okay. But anyways, let me pull that down. Now, let's get into this. Let's get into this document of Karmelo. Hold on. Let's remove this. Let me add that. All right. So I put my watermark on the document. If you cannot see the document, then I'll just read out to you what it says. And we'll go from there. But my watermark is over it. And let's go from there. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. All right, so make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit the hype button if you would like to. And if you guys want to support the channel, then you guys can always support via Cash App at Neek at Night Media. Oops. Spelled exactly like this. So wait, how do I make this smaller? Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit too big. All right, so Neek at Night Media is if you guys want to support. Now, let's get into this document for Karmelo, and let's get into what it says. So as you can see right here, hold on. All right, so it starts out with, it says state's notice of intent and to use extraneous offenses. So it says, come now, the state of Texas, and hereby gives notice of her intent pursuant to Texas Code, blah, 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 that during presentation of state's case in chief or during punishment in the above captioned and numbered criminal action, the following crimes, wrongs, or acts other than the act alleged in the indictment may be introduced. Notice is provided in part through screenshots of certain text messages, exchanges, The screenshots may include only a portion of the entire exchange. On April 2nd, 2025, the morning of the offense, the defendant's girlfriend, Valeria Torres Perez, reported to Centennial High School staff member that the defendant was engaging in stalking behavior, to include but not limited to driving by her home and refusing to allow her to end their relationship. On April 2nd, 2025, early the day of the offense, the defendant sent a text message stating, "I'm low-key on the verge," and then emphasized the message. So here is the message at the bottom where it says, "I'm low-key on the verge." Okay. And in court, the defense says that this is not true. Okay. So the prosecution is able to say, hey, this is what we plan to say. The defense, when they got up to speak about it, they said, listen, we have evidence of the opposite. We have evidence that that's not what she said. We have evidence that she was ready to testify and she does not agree with the characterization of him stalking her. So you have the prosecution saying, hey, we got evidence that he stalked her. The defense says, well, we ready to put her on the stand and show that that's not true. Now, according to them, they're saying that if he went to trial, then they would put up, I guess the principal that she was supposed to have talked to, etc. All right. So then it says, hold on. Between the school years 2013 and 2021, the defendant has committed various acts of behavior, including numerous acts of assaultive conduct while attending school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then it says, at some point during 2024 through 2025 school year, a report was made to Centennial High School staff member that the defendant had taken Valeria Torres' telephone and would not give her phone back. On or about May 2026, the defendant wrote a rant categorizing Black people, white people, and Mexican people. Then it goes to text messages that they had, where it talks about a girl starting to hit him, and then she started pulling his hair, and so he said he punched her. Okay. Then there was messages where it said, let me show you. He talked about Trump in his messages. So there's messages where he talked about Joe Biden, he talked about Trump, and he talked about like the different policies that each person had. He then talked about how, let me see. One second. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that y'all can see. Somebody said, why is him talking about politics being brought up? Because they're trying to use anything so that, like, they're trying to show, like, okay, any group that could possibly be mad at him or withdraw support, like, let's bring it up. So then there was these messages, hold on, about him saying that he was going to shoot up the school. So hold on, let me go to it. All right, so right here, hold on, let me move this down. So right here, it says on or about April 14th, 2023, the defendant was discussing a school shooting. These statements were made in a text conversation with phone number blank. All right, and I had to heavily redact numbers out of here. Okay, it says on April 14th, 2023, he sends a text. And when it says unknown direction, that is just his text message going out. So the text messages that say unknown direction are his messages. And the text messages that say received are text messages that he received. So it says text messages, unknown direction. That's him sending a text message out. And then it shows the difference between the text messages that he receives. So it says, I'm going to shoot the school up tomorrow. Somebody says, what? And then he says, with my blick. And then he sends an emoji. When you look at certain emojis, it doesn't show what it is when you pull it up on a computer. Like every emoji that you have on your phone, it doesn't show. But this tells you that this was an emoji sent. Then obviously this must have said that like, oh, I'm just playing, just kidding, or something like that. And then the person says, phew. So he says, I would never. Okay. So then it says that he would never do that. So then it goes on to say, actually do that. He said, I would never actually do that. Okay, so he put I would never, and then he sent another one that says actually do that. So I would never actually do that. And then somebody said, he says, nah, my mama would kill me before the police. The police already go kill me because I'm black, but still. This person says, chill. Okay, so right there, if you put it in full context and you go back and you look at the text, you could tell that these are kids that are joking. Now, he starts off by saying, I'm going to shoot up the school. They're like, what? He says, with my blick. They say something, emoji, and they're like, phew, okay. And then he says, I would never. And then he says, I would never. And then if you go to the next one, actually do that. And then it says, my mama would kill me before the police. The police already gonna kill me because I'm black, but still. And they said, chill. Okay. So these are some of the things that are in here. Now, there was also, let me see, other messages in here about different altercations that he had with people. Where one post where he says that, you know, people was looking at him weird. That in Louisiana he got suspended, and the same day he came back, he got into a fight. Also there was messages about different things. Now, as it pertains to the messages to Valeria, we're going to have a dedicated live for that. Now, in this post, they had pictures of him with his friends, pictures of him, same how Austin and Metcalf them have pictures with like weapons. He had a picture with a weapon on here. Then he had, let me see. Hold on. I'm trying not to get flagged from YouTube. Hold on. So that's why I'm going like this. let me see what. Hold on. 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to see which page this is. Hold on. Okay. All right. So this is him with his friends, and they showed him the red part. I covered up the firearm, but on here you can see where it shows him. He has a group of friends, and he has a firearm that he's holding in his hand. Okay. Also, in addition to that, they have the messages that he said about Black women as well. He also talked about selling mushrooms. So it says he got a dude to buy the mushrooms. Hold on, let me pull that up. All right, so it's kind of small, but as you can see, again, how they put these messages in there to take up the page, and they're like, oh, look, we got 75 pages of bad stuff on Karmelo. But it's like, you can see how they put these messages to take up the page, and it's spread amongst, pages. So this right here, it says, on or about December 13, 2024, the defendant discussed selling narcotics. This statement was made in a text conversation with Anthony Mendoza. It says, got a dude to buy, and then it's an emoji of a mushroom. And then this is what Anthony sent him. He said, got a dude to buy mushroom. And then Karmelo hit love to the message. On or about December 13th, 2024, the defendant discussed selling narcotics. This statement was made in a text conversation with Anthony Mendoza. Tell that in Jerry, send a flick of the carts. Never mind, 35 a cart, right? He trying to buy these hoes. Okay. And that is him, I guess, making a drug sale. Okay. Also, they shared in here more things about his character, stuff that he said to his girlfriend, him saying that he got into a fight before. Let me see what else. All right, so then there was another message, and hold on, where he made the comments about Black women. All right. Now, again, there's certain people who feel like, oh, Neek, don't show what he said about Black women, because if you say something about, or you show what he said about Black women, then you're feeding into the media. That's their goal. I cannot control whether or not somebody chooses to support or withdraw support. All I can say is, I'm going to show you what he said. Okay. It's already been posted. I'm not going to act like it's not been posted. However, it is my belief that this situation is bigger than a comment that he made. Somebody said that was not a drug sale. I don't know. Okay. I have no idea. Some of y'all saying that that's a vape. I don't know. I don't know. But hey, I don't know. I'm just saying that's what they said. I don't know what's the sale or not. I don't know nothing about shrooms. Okay. I'm going to show the page about the black women. Now, I am not showing this so that black women can no longer support him. I think that what is going on is much bigger than the comment. Okay? But to be transparent and to show you guys, I'm going to show it, okay? So here it is. And also, there was people who were like, Neek, how are you still supporting? Da 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 da. I told you guys why. All right, so these are the text messages right here. So there was this, it says, on or about March 16, 2025, the defendant captured a video stating, all you pussy ends come slide. You know where I'm at, pussy. In. On my mama life, you ends know where I'm at, B word. Okay? So on here, if you look, you can tell that he has a bruise on his face. Well, it looks like a bruise to me. And so then it says, on or about March 24th, 2025, the defendant sent a racist text message to Valeria. And in the text message, it says, I effing despise black B words. And it says, HN, I do not like black bees. What don't these effing retards understand? All that wig glue is getting to their effing brain. Okay? And then it says, effing N-words, they need to go die. Okay? So that is the comment that was said. Okay? Now, in this post, I will have a full live for my members. Okay. Now, this video right now, I showed you guys some things that are in the document. I showed you guys some things that he said here, some things that he said there, some things that he said there. In a live for only my members. Okay. Because it's been a while since I did a video that was just exclusive to members only, right? For my members, I will go over everything, okay? I will show you guys the entire document, okay? I will show you every single thing. In this live, I showed you certain things, but to my members, I will go over the messages with you in full. Okay. So we'll do that. But that is what some of the document shows. That is what the document shows. And I still feel like, compared to Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf's behavior, I think show all of it. I think show what Karmelo said, show what Austin said, and put it out there. I don't think that withholding certain parts of it, I don't think that that does either one of them any justice. I think that by withholding certain parts, people are able to create certain narratives. Now, I heard that the messages that he made about black women was only to like a specific girl. Okay, that's what I was told. Now, I would have to hear from him directly to understand what he meant by that, but I was told that he got into it with a girl and the messages was to that specific girl. Okay. I also believe that because it was 90% of women going out to support Karmelo, I think that the prosecution intentionally wanted him to withdraw that support. I think that because there was so much corruption in this case, the backdoor deals, the way that it's one thing for them to do the backdoor deals. his defense team did not even put up a real defense. Like, when I was in the trial, I'm like, I feel like I could have did a better job at defending him. And now that I know that it was tailored to only under the tent, I still feel like I could have did a better job. How do you know it was self-defense? Tell me what your definition of self-defense is. How can you say that he provoked when he is the one who they put their hands on him first? Now, there is text messages in there where he said that, you know, hey, you get mad at me, I'll get you mad, and then you want to put your hands on me. That's in the messages, okay? A lot of people think that also, oh, well, if we don't talk about it, then it's not there. Whether we talk about it or not, the prosecution still submitted this evidence. The court has this evidence. So I don't know why people think that if we don't talk about it or if we don't mention what's there, that it doesn't exist. It still exists, okay? It still exists. We can advocate for Karmelo and we can also keep it real, okay? There is a message in there where he said, you know, oh, well, I get you mad, so you put your hands on me. Hey, that I feel like that's something that the court can use to support their argument. But I also feel like there's way more that the defense can use to show the contrary. You get what I'm saying? So just because it's there doesn't mean that, oh, no, we can't talk about it. We can talk about it all. Because at the end of the day, the prosecution, if you don't talk about it, do you think the prosecution's not? Do you think that the far right wing is not? Do you think that if we don't mention the comments that he made about Black women, that they don't we have to talk about these things, okay? We still have to talk about these things. I'm still going to talk about them. So with that being said, I wanted to go over what some of the things have in the document. And in my members only live, I don't know if I'm gonna do it later today or if it's gonna be tomorrow, because I be telling y'all, hey, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. I don't know if it's gonna be later today or tomorrow, but I am going to do a live where it's going to be for my members, and I'm going to go over everything. I'm going to show y'all the pictures of the weapons. I'm going to show y'all the text of that he sent to Valeria. I'm going to show y'all everything, but that's going to be for us, the Night Owls, okay? So if you're not a member, then become a member. If you care, you don't care, hey, that's up to you. Let me check my email really quickly before I end the live. Okay. Let me see. All right, so so also I have different things that they intended to get. You know, things for Austin Metcalf, right? Like there was things where he was choking another kid in the weight room, right? There was videos of him grabbing a kid's face and shoving it into his crotch. Okay? There's videos of Austin Metcalf taking a kid and shoving their face into his crotch. There's things on his phone where he makes a fake gun pointing it to the back of a Black person's head. There's also things of Austin Metcalf where it shows his friend, Austin kissing his friend telling him to stop, and then Austin yelling, "Kiss me, F word," and then grabbing his friend's head and hands. All right. There's videos from Austin Metcalf on his phone where he's yelling, "I'm going to slap the F out of my dad. He isn't going to do ish." And so there's all of these other things as well. So I have the file for that too. There is times where he got suspended for bringing a gun to school. Okay. So it says Austin got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day. Austin disciplinary record shows Austin and another student were talking about what does your gun sound like? And the other student said, you'll find out tomorrow. And then he said, and I'll do it tomorrow. Austin also made a comment about a threat. All right. So it also shows that Austin got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player on December 1st, 2021, and was told he couldn't attend other sports events unless accompanied by a parent or unless he was participating. It says his disciplinary record shows that at the basketball game, he yelled, "Get the effing ball," and Austin was told he wouldn't be allowed at any basketball games for the rest of the season, okay, and told that he had to come with a parent. Now, there's all kind of things that are on his record in addition to that. There's his attendance record where it shows that he was suspended every year for 7 years in a row. So from 2014 to 2015, he was suspended in 2015. He was suspended in 2016. He was suspended December 14, 2016. He was also suspended November 14th, 15th, and 29th in 2017. He was suspended in the 2018 to 2019 school year, January 18th, 2019. He was suspended in the 2020 to 2021 school year, and he also was suspended in 2022 as well. And then it goes into more disciplinary things. So I have the records of both. Okay. And if you guys want me to go in further detail about anything, we can do it on a later live. But like I said, I'll do a live fully dedicated to Karmelo's text, and I'll show you guys everything. And that'll be for my members only. So that'll be for my members only. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.